Visualfestation. How to Visualize and Manifest the Life of Your Dreams by Peter Adams. Chapter 4. Quantum Physics and Energy. Quantum physics is a very complicated subject, and I honestly cannot say that I am an expert on the topic. Rather than make this a technical discussion on quantum theory, I prefer to simplify it for you. In short, everything in our universe, when broken down into the smallest building blocks, is one thing, and that is energy. Everything you see, feel, taste, etc. is composed entirely of energy. You may never have thought of this before, but you are also comprised of energy. If you looked at your body through a very powerful microscope, you would see that, at the smallest level, you are in fact energy. To take it one step further, your spirit or soul, whichever feels more comfortable to you, is also energy. In this case, it is divine energy. Is it a wave or a particle? Quantum physics is the study of subatomic particles, the smallest building blocks of matter, and how they react. One of the most fascinating things that scientists discovered is that when they measured subatomic particles, depending on the test performed, the result was that the particle could either be a particle or a wave. It was actually a probability amplitude, whereby it was simultaneously both a particle and a wave. If that wasn't strange enough, they then did further experiments and concluded the observer affected the outcome of the experiment just through observation. The truly amazing thing this proved was that the researchers' thoughts were affecting the outcome of the experiments. Thus, thoughts were actually real things which had the energy to shape the outcome. What this told us was that the entire universe is made of this energy, and that outcomes could be manipulated by our thoughts. At this energy level, we are connected to source energy, which is also the level of creation in the universe. Chapter 5. It is all in your mind. Your thoughts are things, and they are creative in nature. Unfortunately, almost everyone in the world does not realize that they share in the creation of their own life through the thoughts that they think. Many people believe that they live in a predetermined life that is guided by fate, and that they are just along for the ride. Nothing could be further from the truth. To make it a little clearer, imagine that you are both the leading character as well as the screenwriter in the movie called Your Life. The script is written by the thoughts you think, which then attract the scenes in your personal movie called Your Life. If you don't presently like the way the scene Your Life is playing, rewrite the script to change the scene. Most screenwriters unfortunately suffer from writer's block when it comes to writing the next scene. As the screenwriter, you can create any movie of your life as long as you believe that you can. GIGO, or G-I-G-O, is an acronym that stands for Garbage In, Garbage Out. Let's bring this into the realm of thought. If you think negative thoughts on an ongoing basis, you are going to see negative outcomes happening in your life. It is not by chance, but instead by natural law. One of the most damaging things that our minds can do if we are not vigilant in watching over our thoughts is to create what I call the downward spiral. In the downward spiral, thoughts of fear generate more and more thoughts of fear, and in your mind things are getting worse and worse. It is almost a total fear fest that is being choreographed completely in your mind as a result of wrong thoughts. Downward spiral example. An example of this could be a salesperson who is worried about making his or her quota. The salesperson starts to think ideas like this: if I don't make my quota, they are going to fire me, and I won't have a job. If I lose my job, then I won't be able to find another one. When I can't find another job, I'm going to lose the house. When I lose the house, I will lose my family, and no one will love me anymore. I will then be homeless and die from fill in the blank, all alone. Now the movie escalates into a full-blown tragedy, and the salesperson is feeling as if this reality is actually happening. The stress of these negative thoughts could then translate into lost sales due to reduced effectiveness from insomnia. The problem with these spirals is that they get out of control and will eat you alive with real stress. If these thoughts are not canceled out, they can become a self-fulfilling prophecy through negative outcomes being attracted to your life experience. Whenever your mind starts trying to play the spiral, you immediately need to forcefully say, "Stop!" You are the one who is in control of what you are going to think, and it is not going to be things like that. Period. Remember that nothing good can ever come from thinking negative thoughts. So decide now to purge them from your being. Thought barriers and misguided beliefs. It is not my intent to give everyone a prepackaged excuse as to why they are not living the life of their dreams through what I am going to say next. The truth is, from the time you were born to where you are right now, you have been subjected to brainwashing. This brainwashing took place when you did not even realize it was happening. It could have been positive, but more than likely you received negative reinforcement. Most likely, the greatest amount of brainwashing you received came from your parents, and the brainwashing continued to be administered by relatives, friends, community, religion, formal education, etc. You were bombarded with negative misinformation, which you became convinced was the truth, as it was being told to you by your parents who knew everything, right? Unfortunately, young minds are easily poisoned from the misguided beliefs of a person they love. The greatest tragedy is that these false beliefs continue to exist at some level in your mind. The most common example I hear on a regular basis is, "I can't be, have, or do what I truly want because of blank." Question: how do you know that if you have never tried? Answer: I just know I can't because of blank. Now that you are older, it is time for you to drop the limiting beliefs that are in your head as a result of your life up until now. If your parents or whoever instilled in you the belief that you cannot do, be, or have something, drop those beliefs now. Another common flawed belief many people have is that somehow they are not worthy of having the life of their dreams. Where did that idea come from? It is not serving you, so drop the idea that you are not immediately. You are worthy. You were sent into this experience to live the life of your dreams and were given free will to attain it. Limiting beliefs oftentimes are so strong that they keep people from even trying. What have you told yourself in the past that you could not do? Be honest. We have all done this many times in the past. The past is the past, so let's drop this mental baggage that has been weighing you down for so many years and move on. The sooner you do this, the sooner your life is going to get better. You are working with a universe of infinite possibilities and infinite resources. You are not living in a world of lack or limited resources. That may be how it appears to you on the physical plane, but that is not the truth. The truth is, the more you have, the more there is. The universe is constantly expanding, and everyone can have everything they want, if they believe they can, and if they are willing to do their part. What should I be thinking? That is a good question, and the answer is straightforward. You should be thinking about what you want in your life, and not worrying about what you don't want in your life. I am sure you have heard the common phrase, "When it rains, it pours." What you may not have realized is that it is a time-tested example of the law of attraction in action. As an example, let's say your automobile breaks down, resulting in an expensive repair at the garage. After you pay the mechanic, you hop back in your car, and all you can think about is how broke you now are. 10 minutes later, your cell phone rings, and it is your spouse calling to tell you that the air conditioning stopped working. With dread, you start to worry about how you're going to afford to pay for it. Then you realize the traffic ahead of you is stopped, and you notice too late and plow into the back of the car in front of you, badly damaging both of your vehicles. The next day, your boss asks you why you need an advance on your paycheck, and you respond with, "You know what they say, when it rains it pours." What you think about and focus on is going to show up, so you need to be sure that what you are thinking about is a match to what you want to manifest in your life. If it is more money that you want, you need to get into the feeling that you already have plenty and are blessed with abundance. If this is the first time you've heard this, it might sound delusional, but it is not. The feeling in this case is a vibration that is being sent through your thoughts out to the universe. A mismatch in vibration will be corrected over time by the universe. In this case, it may be the temporary appearance of a money shortage. If you refuse to buy in to the appearance and hold steadfast to your belief by feeling that you have plenty, the universe will bring the circumstances needed to match your vibration. The universe can do this in an infinite number of ways, one of which might be you suddenly land a huge client for your business, or, out of the blue, you receive a check from Uncle Bob, who just sold his company for $10 million and is feeling generous, or a $1 million idea comes to you about an invention you are working on. To people on the outside, this will just look like luck. There is no such thing as good luck or bad luck. There is such a thing as positive or negative expectations. These expectations that you have, whether positive or negative, will attract either good circumstances or bad circumstances, which will show up in your life. We are going to go through some exercises in Chapter 8 that will help you define what it is that you say you really want. Once we have defined it, we can then build upon that to create the techniques we will use later in the book. Chapter 6. Feelings and Gratitude. Simply put, like attracts like. So you need to do a really good job of monitoring the thoughts you are currently thinking, as they will lead you to a state of feeling either good or bad. Think of your feelings as an early warning system to what you are thinking. If you feel bad about something and continue focusing on it, you are going to amplify that bad feeling. Through amplifying that bad feeling, you are going to attract into your life more of what will make you feel bad. That is absolutely not going to be a favorable thing for you when you get more and more things to feel lousy about. One of the best examples I have heard about the law of attraction is this. Imagine that the universe is a giant mail-order company, and the way that you place your orders is through the thoughts you are thinking. On the other side, imagine that there is a shipping clerk filling your order. The shipping clerk does not know if size 8 will fit you. All the clerk knows is that is what you ordered. Therefore, it must be the size you wanted. Sometimes these orders get shipped to us with bonus extras, which could be really good or really bad, for that matter, based on what we are thinking. The good thing about all of the orders we place is that they can be canceled before they are shipped through a change in our thinking. The best thoughts by far that we should be thinking are thoughts that give us a feeling of gratitude. Through feeling gratitude, we are telling the universe thank you. When we feel gratitude, we are connecting directly to source energy through love, which is the most powerful force in our universe. When you express a true feeling of gratitude to the universe, you are doing a lot more than giving thanks for your current blessings. You are also setting the stage for more good things to be brought into your time-space experience, so that you have more and more to be grateful for. When you express gratitude for the things that have not yet shown up in your experience, that is even more powerful, as you have now taken a goal or an intention and converted it into a form of prayer. One of my favorite passages from the Bible that addresses this is from the book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 23 and 24, when Jesus says, "For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall receive them." That is one of the most powerful statements ever told about how to create whatever it is that you wish to experience. Jesus is telling us point blank how to create miracles in our lives. Many people equate the word miracle to something that is incredibly large, such as taking a few fish and a couple of loaves of bread and feeding thousands of people. That is not what I am saying at all. A miracle could be that you are in a terrible car accident and walk away from it without a scratch. Another could be that a medical lab test comes back negative, or that money from an unexpected source shows up precisely when you need it. These are all miracles, just on a smaller scale than, say, parting the Red Sea. The process I described above as giving thanks and having gratitude for the miracles that have yet to appear in your life puts these miracles in motion. One of the biggest things we need to address here is that you don't get caught up in the hows. You don't need to know how the miracle will manifest. All you need to do is believe that it will, and be grateful for it now. If you start thinking or worrying about how it is going to happen, or what if it doesn't happen, you are watering down your faith that it will, and you are providing resistance to the event manifesting in your experience. The hows are to be left to the universe to solve, not you. The universe connects all the circumstances that lead to the fulfillment of your miracle. So stay out of the way and let the universe do its job. By the way, you are going to love the results. Chapter 7. Ask and it is given, and your role as a co-creator. There have been numerous books, this one included, and recently a movie, all about the law of attraction and the process of creation. Ask, believe, and receive was told to us over 2,000 years ago by Jesus, and was recorded in the Bible in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 7 and 8. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened up unto you. For every one that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. A question that you may want to ask yourself is why, after all this time, do we still not get it? My personal belief is that a lot of people have been told by various religions that somehow God is separate from them, and they are not worthy, and if you don't follow our dogma, you are going to spend the rest of your days in a hot place, and they don't call it Florida. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. There is a piece of the Creator inside you, and you do have the power to create miracles in your life. I wrote this book to convey that message to you and to share the techniques I have used successfully to create the miracles in my life. One of the things I think most books fail to get across is that you need to take action. This is what I define as the co-creator piece. In your role as co-creator, there are a number of job duties that come with the position, such as the following. Decide what it is that you want, why you want it, and be able to create desire for it. Believe that you do have the power within you to create anything. You need to get into the feeling of already having it. You need to have gratitude and believe that it is already on its way to you. You need to avoid anyone who says that for whatever reason you cannot be, do, or have what it is that you say you want. You need to practice the techniques I am going to share with you on a daily basis until you receive what it is that you want. If there is something you need as a skill to do whatever you say you want, you need to take specific action and acquire those skills. You need to make a permanent commitment to remove procrastination from your life. You need to stay out of the hows and leave that job up to the universe. The universe reorders itself to make your miracles come true. You don't need to know how. You need to develop the skill of endurance, as this is a lifelong journey, and there will be times when you may doubt that everything is working. If you fulfill your duties as co-creator, you will have whatever it is that you say you want. The universe will see to it. Chapter 8. Defining Your Dream Life. 3 not-so-simple questions. Ask yourself, what would I be if there was nothing that I could not be? What would I do if there was nothing that I could not do? What would I have if there was nothing that I could not have? These are not philosophical questions. These are very important, very deep, and very personal questions. These are not questions that you can answer quickly, unless you have already been asked and answered them before. The answers to these questions will tell you what you really should be doing with your life. This is no time to be thinking small, so I want you to come up with answers to these questions that are so huge that if they happened, you would be so completely blown away beyond your wildest dreams. When you are working on the answers to these questions, don't let your mind say things to you like, "You can't do that," or "You'll never have that." Your mind is just talking trash, so tell it to be quiet. The whys. Take your time answering these questions, and feel free to supersize your order. If you can imagine it, you can have it. Once you have your major life goals written down, I want you to write each one down on the top of a separate piece of paper. Below that, I want you to write out all the reasons why this goal is so important to you. And next to each of those reasons, I want you to write out the feeling you have associated with this reason. Your feelings are the real underlying reasons why you want to achieve these goals. This is a good thing because if you dig down deep enough, you will find that the answer in its simplest form is love. With love comes passion, and that is a very powerful force of attraction in our universe. Ideal scene. Once you have your list completed, I want you to take a few minutes and imagine that it is now 5 years in the future, and everything on your list came perfectly true, and that it is now your present reality. See yourself in the movie that is playing on the screen of your mind, with all of these things being true. When you are ready, grab a notebook and write out precisely in detail what this scene looks like and how it feels. I mean really feels to you. Soak up all those awesome feelings associated with these things being true in your experience. Does that feel great or what? Congratulations, you have just defined your ideal scene, which is also known as your end result. Now you not only have a destination for your journey, but you already know what it is going to feel like when you get there. Now that you have this, It is time for you to learn the techniques which will bring your ideal scene into your reality, along with all those good feelings that come with it. Chapter 9. Goal Setting. The importance of having goals cannot be overstated on the journey to living the life of your dreams. When I talk about goals, I am not referring to New Year's resolutions, where people resolve to lose weight and they go to the gym for 2 weeks. I like to think about goals as being similar to mile markers on the road to your destination. In this case, that destination is your ideal scene or your dream life. One of the best things about setting and achieving your goals is that it puts you in as an active participant in creating whatever it is that you say you want. If you want to have the life of your dreams, you are going to need to take action. Dreams with deadlines. Another way to think about goals is to think about them as being dreams with deadlines. Many people are actually afraid of setting goals, as they immediately start to have thoughts such as, "What if it doesn't happen? How bad will I feel then?" If this sounds familiar to you, you're going to need to make those feelings about goals to be something that is now in your past. Another error many people make is that they will set a goal, but they fail to set a date for its achievement. "When I am ready" is not a deadline. It is a delay tactic for avoiding taking the actions required. Let's say your goal is to one day complete that college degree that you started but never finished for whatever reason. The first thing you need to do is drop that one day nonsense and set a deadline for achieving that degree. You also will need to take immediate action, such as ordering your transcripts, filling out the application, and registering for classes. As soon as you do this, you are moving in the direction of your dreams and achieving your goals along the way. Deeds, not words. I have an excellent example of this from my personal experience, which I would like to share with you. In December of 1988, I was a construction worker in the Laborers Union working in Boston on an excavation site. The weather this particular day was lousy, half raining and half snowing at the same time. I was in my 20s, and I was working with another laborer who was in his 50s. The two of us were shoveling gravel with yellow rain gear on, and it was pure misery. The gravel was wet and heavy, and by the morning coffee break my lower back was already hurting. After the short break, it was back to the rock pile to try to survive until lunch. I will never forget this day as long as I live. We were taking turns shoveling the gravel when suddenly I looked up in horror and realized that I was looking at myself in 30 years. It hit me like a sledgehammer. What the hell am I doing? I've got to do something about this, and I've got to do it now. The rest of the day I worked on my action plan while I shoveled away. It was time to go back to school. I had attended a community college briefly 4 years earlier and left before the end of the semester to go make big bucks in construction. I decided to take the next day off from work so that I could visit the college and see if they would let me back in. They said no problem and gave me an application and the spring course catalog. I then called one of my friends to get the number of one of his friends who was a shift manager at a hazardous waste plant to see if there were any night openings. My timing could not have been better. He said he was looking for a couple of people and hired me on the spot. That spring I started taking classes part-time as a freshman at the community college. At the same time, one of my friends was a first-semester junior doing a cooperative learning assignment at a stock brokerage firm. 5 years later, I earned my bachelor's degree, and 2 years after that I had my Master of Science degree. After those same 7 years, my friend was still only a junior and talking about taking classes to complete his degree, and I had graduated twice. The major difference was that I took immediate action instead of just sitting around talking about it. When you make the commitment and take action, the universe will bend over backwards to help you achieve your goals. Words, not thoughts. Your goals need to be written, and you need to review them on a daily basis. Simply put, if they aren't written, you don't have them. Writing them down forces you to define clearly what it is you are going for. For your subconscious mind to assist you with achieving these goals, they need to be clear. Through writing them down, you are able to give your subconscious mind clear instructions. I personally suggest having a laminated card which you can carry in your pocket at all times, so that your goals are with you at all times. What I found helpful, and which added power to my goals, is that I added some short prayers to the opposite side. Another technique that I have used in the past is to rewrite my goals every morning. When you do this, it feels as if you are reinforcing your commitment to their achievement. Can you believe them? Your goals also need to be believable to you. Don't confuse this with the idea of knowing how they are going to come to fruition. That is not what I am saying. What I am saying, though, is if you create a really big goal, one which is beyond what you can get your mind to believe can happen, it is too big for you at this time. What will happen is that you won't be able to achieve the feeling that it has come true. As you set goals and achieve them, you are going to gain momentum and set bigger and bigger goals. One of the ways you can work on ramping up the size of your goals is to work on your faith. If you can truly believe with utmost certainty that your goals are already accomplished, you can pretty much ask for anything because you will be unstoppable. The why is as important as the what. When you create your goals, make sure you know why you want to achieve them. The reasons why you want to achieve these goals need to be powerful. If they are not powerful, you will not be able to generate a burning desire to have them fulfilled, which is necessary. This burning desire is also known as passion. If you don't have passion for what it is that you say you want, simply put, it won't happen because the energy is not there. With passion for their fulfillment, you will be able to generate very strong feelings of gratitude for their coming into your experience ahead of time. This is a crucial step in the process of manifestation. In the present. Lastly, when you write out your goals, you must write them in the present tense. What I mean by that is, when you write them down, write them as if they have already manifested. Let's say one of your goals is to finish college. You would write that goal down as, I am a college graduate, rather than, I am going to finish my degree. The difference between the two statements may seem subtle, but it is huge. The first one puts it in the present as already being done, while the latter places it as a possibility in the future. All of your goals need to be written in the now, and as already being a reality. Doing it this way, you will be able to generate the belief and the feeling of gratitude for it already being done. Chapter 10. Vision Books and Boards. If you have read the earlier chapters of this book, I am sure you are going to be interested in what I have to say about vision boards and books. My personal experience has been nothing short of miraculous when I look back to what I have put in my vision book and which has manifested into my reality. In case this is your first exposure to vision boards and books, I will give you a quick explanation on how to create one. I will then tell you how I used one to successfully help me manifest things into my physical reality. Let's create one. The first thing you need to do is create the list of goals for which you have passion. Once you have done this, the next step is to gather pictures of what the attainment of these goals looks like. As an example, Let's say your goal is to take your family on a vacation to Disney World. What you could do then is to get some marketing brochures from Disney which are filled with photos of families having a great time at the park, and cut out the pictures of the families having fun. More than one picture is preferable, as it will give you more material to work with. Once you have these photos, you can fasten them to either a book or a board or both. Take your time doing this and make sure you find the best pictures you can. Remember, this is your life we are talking about, and okay is not going to cut it. So make sure you find pictures that you can look at and generate the feeling of truly having what the picture represents to you. Where faith and belief is such a crucial part of the manifestation process, I highly recommend finding some spiritual verses that resonate with you and adding them in as well. In my vision book, I have some powerful verses from the Bible which I typed on my computer and printed out. I then inserted them into transparent sleeves and then placed them in a 3-ring binder. What I found to work best with me was to alternate the pages of verses with the pages of the pictures. Feel free to customize your book to what works for you. Inside your book, you will also have your written goals, which must be written in the present tense. One really good way to do this is to write them as affirmations or as I am statements. Let's assume that you are single and your goal is to be in a loving relationship. You could write your goal out as I am so happy to be in a loving relationship. The important thing to stress again is that the statement must give you the ability to have the feeling that it is true. Below that statement, you could have a picture of a smiling couple who look to be having a wonderful time together. When you are done, your vision book should look like a representation of the life of your dreams. As the pictures in your book become your actual reality, and I promise you they will, move those pages to the back of your book. That way, when you see them in the future, it will thoroughly reinforce the fact that you are a co-creator and that you have the power to manifest things into your reality. Now that you have created your vision book, it is time to use it. The vision book is really a tool for you to use to create the feeling of already having the life of your dreams. At this stage, you have already defined what it is that you want to have in your life. You know why you want it, and you have true passion for it showing up in your life. Having pictures of what it looks like now is very powerful. I cannot explain to you exactly how it works. All I can tell you is that when you combine this with visualization, you are going to be blown away by the results. Chapter 11. Creative Visualization and Manifestation. Before I get into how massively powerful I believe the process of visualization is for manifestation, let me first explain to you what I am talking about. The process of visualization is to actively use your imagination to create the movie in your mind of what your dream life looks and truly feels like. When done effectively, you will be able to create a visualization which will seem as real to you as the dreams you experience when you sleep. I am going to go through the techniques I practice, and if you want to learn more, I suggest reading an excellent book entitled Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. That's Gawain. I learned the pink bubble technique, which I will discuss later, straight from Shakti's book. The visualization process, step by step. One of the things you must be able to master to have really good visualizations is the ability to quiet your mind through meditation. If you are new to meditation, don't worry. You are not going to have to get on a plane to Tibet to learn. It is a lot simpler than you might think, but I would suggest reading more on the subject. To begin, you need to be able to relax, turn off your outside thoughts, and bring your brain waves down to a state known as alpha. At alpha, you are completely relaxed, but you are still awake. Alpha can best be described as the state which you are in just before you fall asleep. At that level, you are very relaxed, but you can still control your thoughts. One of the techniques I use to get into alpha is to sit in a comfortable chair, close my eyes, and relax, and then count backwards from 15 to 1. I actually see the numbers, and I relax more and more as I count down. Finally, at 1, I arrive at alpha, and I am completely relaxed. Once you are at alpha, you can begin your visualization process. When I first started to practice visualization, I would get into alpha and imagine a beam of white light passing through my body from the heavens to the center of the earth, and it would flow in and out with each breath, and after a handful of breaths, I would feel a sense of connection with the universe. Once I was at this level, I would begin my visualization process, which would last between 5 and 10 minutes, and I would step into my dream life, or ideal scene, where all of my goals had manifested. An important note I would like to add here is that when you are in your ideal scene, you are not visualizing about how it is to come about. Instead, you are enjoying being in the end result. One of the most important things you must have when visualizing is the ability to generate the feeling of joy and love that it has come true, and to bask in that good feeling. We live in a feeling universe, and these good feelings you experience are going to attract more experiences for you to have good feelings about. Eventually, these good feelings will be accompanied by the actual manifestation of the end result into your reality that you are now visualizing. Before you come out of your meditation, imagine the ideal scene now surrounded by a pink bubble, and get into a feeling of total joy and gratitude to the universe for bringing this to you. The next thing to do is to see the pink bubble float higher and higher, getting smaller and smaller as it rises to the heavens and eventually disappears. Now slowly open your eyes and realize that you have done your part, and the universe will bring it to you. Know and feel this to be true without any doubt. In the pink bubble technique just described above, the color pink is associated with love, which is the most powerful force in the universe. The bubble floating to the heavens represents detachment from the outcome, whereby you are not worried about it coming true because you know that it is true. My personal successes. I personally cannot tell you how truly powerful I believe the power of creative visualization to be. My personal belief is that when we are practicing the techniques, we are truly operating as co-creators with the universe and operating in the field of infinite possibilities where anything and everything can be created. There is going to be a time delay between practicing your visualization exercises and when the things you want to show up in your reality arrive. If you were someone who could operate at the vibration level of a Christ or Buddha, the time delay would be much shorter. The most important thing you need to do is believe with faith that it is done and on its way to you, and that it is only a matter of time before it shows up. The coolest thing is when it does show up, you will never see it coming ahead of time. When you look back, though, sometimes you will be able to connect the dots. A great example of this is when what appear to be challenges in our lives show up. Sometimes the challenges are precisely part of the universe's plan, and they are actually events needed to create the circumstances for our dreams to manifest. We don't realize this because we are not able to peek behind the curtain to see how it is all actually happening. Don't become disappointed by mistaking challenges as anything other than everything working out perfectly. When your dreams manifest, and they will, you will see that it was all part of a master plan to get you where you say you wanted to be, do, or have. Acting as a co-creator and through using creative visualization, I have and continue to manifest miracles in my life. If you regularly practice visualization, the miracles that show up will be yours. And is that going to feel good or what? I do need to make you aware of something before we close this chapter. Sometimes, for whatever reason, you are going to have days where you seem unable to get into the zone and will have difficulty visualizing. On an occasional basis, this happens to me as well. Don't worry about it. When this does happen, and it will, just work on one of the other techniques, such as scripting, which we will discuss in the next chapter. This will keep you on track and focused on your path to the life of your dreams. Chapter 12. Scripting. Scripting, which is sometimes referred to as journaling, is a great technique I use regularly to get into the feeling that my dreams have manifested. It is a really easy exercise to do, and it is great when you are pressed for time. There is something very powerful about writing words down on paper. It is especially powerful when you are writing them down while simultaneously having a feeling of gratitude. It only takes a few minutes, and you can generate some amazing feelings of truly having it now. It is important that you find a quiet place to write without distractions. From there, break out your paper and pencil and start writing about the miracles that you want to have materialize in your life, and the associated feelings of joy and gratitude now that they have become your reality. You should be able to generate the same level of feelings when you are scripting as you do when you are having a good day visualizing. What I normally do is start off with a statement such as, "I am so happy about blank," and then I start writing about and describing how good it feels to have blank in my reality. Sometimes I will focus on practice scripting on one of my goals. Other times I will script for a longer period of time and write about my entire ideal scene and the feelings of joy I have for it manifesting into my life. Don't worry about your penmanship or spelling when you are doing this exercise. What is more important is that you can get into the flow and just let the words and feelings come out. Never feel as if you are forcing the words to come out, and never think or write about how it is coming to you. Remember, you are writing in the present tense, and it has already happened. A brief example. Let's say one of your goals is to have a cabin in the mountains. Here's how I might write about it. Wow! I cannot believe how much I love spending time at our new cabin next to the lake. I love meditating next to the crystal clear, pristine waters every morning. I feel so at peace here. The kids are having such a great time swimming that I can barely get them to come out of the water to eat. The sunsets over the lake are absolutely beautiful, and I love the cool evenings here. Lord, I cannot thank you enough for my beautiful cabin. I love being here so much that I never want to leave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have done this exercise correctly, when you are done writing, you should really be basking in a feeling of joy and gratitude. Another method of scripting is to imagine that you are writing a letter to a very close friend or loved one, and you are telling them all about the miracles that have happened to you. The more detailed you can be about your feelings and the experience, the better. You can use scripting to improve any area of your life that you wish to change. One of the things that I do when I am scripting is to add the pink bubble visualization technique when I am done writing, thereby releasing it to the universe to manifest it back to my reality. Chapter 13. Affirmations. Affirmations are powerful statements that you repeatedly say aloud back to yourself. The idea behind them is to put your subconscious mind to work on bringing these affirmations into your reality. The affirmations are always written or said in the present tense, and they are always positive. Your subconscious mind does not recognize the words no and not, so do not use them when you create your affirmations. Let's say one of your goals is to lose 50 pounds and to get back down to your ideal fit body weight of 130 pounds. Rather than creating an affirmation that says, "I am no longer fat," a better way would be the following affirmation: "I feel great maintaining my perfect weight of 130. Some people have had great experiences with saying their affirmations while staring at themselves in the mirror. The technique which resonated best with me was to add this specific language to my affirmations. At the beginning, I would add the words, "In an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, I am now," then state my affirmation. And then I would close with, "In its own perfect time, for the highest good of all concerned, this or something better is now manifesting on my behalf." I have to credit Mark Allen for this technique, which I learned from reading his book, The Millionaire Course. Example: one of my actual affirmations. In an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, I am now building financial success which is beyond my wildest dreams. In its own perfect time, for the highest good of all concerned, this or something better is now manifesting on my behalf. This was one of the affirmations I created back during the time I was working on my 12 crazy goals. In closing, I think the best method to practice affirmations is to create one for each of your goals and then to repeat them when you first rise and again just before sleep. Then visualize and see them as all being true in your mind before drifting off to sleep. Chapter 14. As If. Think, speak, and act as if is a technique whereby you get into the mindset and feeling of being, having, and doing. What you are doing is creating a state of mind in which you feel as if you have already achieved your goals, and you create these feelings ahead of the actual event. You also combine this with action and do the things you will do when your dream life manifests, as well as acquiring the knowledge that you will need to be ready when your goals show up. One of the things you may need to get over is the concept of make-believe as something only children play. You live in a world that is make-believe, and never forget it. Wherever you are in life right now is a result of what you have believed and made. Now that you have been told this, it is time for you to use this knowledge to your advantage. Think of this as being similar to your visualizations, except that now you are doing them and you are fully conscious. To better get this concept across, let me give you an example from my life. The color of money. A few years after I bought that white Lexus LS 400, which I wrote about earlier in the book, I found myself wanting the newer model Lexus LS 430. I put a lot of miles on the LS 400, and I loved the car, but it was starting to wear out after I put about 180,000 miles on the odometer. One of the things I liked best about the newer LS 430 was that they added a wood insert into the steering wheel and dashboard, which really dressed up the interior. Knowing the power of being a co-creator, I drove down to the local Lexus dealer and picked up one of their sales brochures, which had a bunch of great pictures of both the exterior and interior of the car. I then cut out the best picture of the car and put it in my vision book, and I put the brochure in my hour of power bag, which I brought to the beach each day. After a while, I really knew what my new car looked like. When I would walk off the beach and get back to the LS400, I would imagine that I was opening the trunk of my LS430, and I would get into the feeling of how great it felt to have this beautiful car with a fantastic interior. Another thing I would do is to visualize and see in my mind's eye the wood accent interior of the LS430 while driving the LS400. This technique worked best when I would drive in the early morning before sunrise. Another thing I would do to get ready for the LS430 was research on various internet sites to figure out what the true market value was for each year. I would then shop for LS430s on eBay Motors, and I would look at all the pictures that the sellers posted on their ads. When I saw one that I liked, I would take it one step further and plug the information into another site which would give me a valuation based on the year, options, and mileage. I really liked my LS400 as it had reached out and found me, so I felt loyalty to her. One morning I hopped in the car to drive to an appointment to show a house to a client, and the car was completely dead. After messing around with it for 10 minutes and covered in sweat from the sweltering Florida summer, I finally started the car and made it to my appointment. When I got home after showing the appointment, I went directly to eBay Motors and found a deal on a beautiful dark green LS430 nearby, and I clicked the Buy It Now button. After a few days, I appropriately named the car The Color of Money. The feeling I had now when physically driving the LS430 was exactly the same as the as-if feeling I created when driving the LS400. Now in the morning when I came off of the beach, I was really putting my beach chair and bag into an LS430. All I could do was smile and feel gratitude, which is precisely how I prepared for this day through practicing as if. Whatever it is that you want, make sure that you do your homework to prepare yourself. Then practice the feeling of as if for having it now, and feel real gratitude, for it is just a matter of time before it manifests into your reality. Chapter 15. Putting it all together. These techniques that I have described to you in this book are the exact ones I used successfully to manifest miracles in my life. If you want to manifest the life of your dreams, you now have all the tools to do just that. Feel free to use them in combination or as standalone techniques. Over time, you might want to change them around so that you stay focused and fresh. The most important thing that makes these techniques work is your faith and belief that they are already done and on their way. I hope that the miracles which I have manifested successfully using these techniques have made you into a believer in the fact that you are a co-creator and that you have the ability to truly create the life of your dreams. I hope that you will share this knowledge with everyone that you love, as they too deserve to live the life of their dreams. We are all here to help each other, and imagine the joy you will feel when they tell you that you have totally changed their lives. I have given you all the knowledge and tools you will need to be, do, or have whatever it is that you want. It is now up to you to take action. I wish you Godspeed on your journey. All the best, Pete.